Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here with you. I'm with my team alongside. I'm Georgico Oliviu, the CEO of Imoria Finance. Edward is our CTO, and Robert is in charge of the mobile app development. Bogdan is here to help, and Radu is our marketing advisor. We are here to present you the mission and the vision of Imoria Finance. So I can tell you a little bit about Imoria from the first. Imoria was created in order to give access to all the people from Web 3 and Web 2 to a passive income. Imoria was designed to create a new economy based on the green energy. This will be a revolution. Calories will become the new energy, a new economy around the free energy. This was our purpose, even from the beginning. So first of all, Imoria was born 3 years ago, right before STEPN, the first Move to Earn project. I think that everyone knows about, heard about STEPN. The reason why we launched the project only a few months ago is that it identified a problem with those kind of projects, a problem with economic sustainability. So it's very hard to create a token, and you want to give it value. At the same time, you want to give it for free. So it's a paradox here. But after 2 years of work, we found a solution for this paradox. And after that, we received the validation of our new economic model from a research institute in tokenomics. So after we found the solution, we wanted to be sure that this economic model will be able to give access for all the people to this new economy that we have built. So after we received the validation of our economic model, we started to search ways to implement it technically. So here we are now, with all these pieces together, ready to be assembled and to set the Infinity economic engine in motion. This month, we successfully finished the implementation of our economic model. So cheers to that. We are ready and very close to go multi-chain on ERC20 and to launch the EMR token on the biggest DEX in the world. So I know that anyone will want to hear from us when will be the launch. I saw very, very fast this question in the chat, but I can tell you right now, we will be able to go multi-chain in the next 2 or maybe 3 weeks. So let's sure that you will be prepared. Close after that, we will implement a payment processor that allows Web2 users to buy and hold EMR directly from our website. It will be linked directly from the liquidity pool from the DEX on ERC20. So we will create all the things that Web2 users will want to be able to buy and hold EMR, because they don't want to create a wallet and they don't want to leave their heads with these kind of things. They want to be able to buy, and they will be able to do this only with their email address. With all these things together, we will be ready to launch the app for everyone live, but not I think that it will be better to launch the app in a contest. We're preparing a contest between the supporters of the biggest clubs of football from Romania. So we expected tens of thousands of people in the app shortly after our launch. This will increase the demand for the EMR transactions, burnings, and rarity in the same time. But this will be only the beginning. Through the referral adoption, I believe that every user will want to bring as many people as it possible in their teams, because they will do that primarily for their own benefits. We already know that through referral link, our economic model allows us to receive 10% from our first line, 5% from our second line, 3% from our third line, 1% from our fourth line, and so on, to infinity and beyond, like we like to say. So those are the perfect conditions for what we all expect, the market explosion for the EMR, of course.
Okay, thank you, Olivio, for the information. We are going to start answering the question from the community. The first question is, what is the utility of the NFTs?
Yeah, so our NFTs are very important into the Emoria ecosystem, because without an NFT, you won't be able to level up. So you always will remain at level 1. You won't be able to benefit from higher rewards in EMRS per calories. You won't be able to monetize your calories from your team. You will be able to create a team, but you won't be able to receive all their rewards from them because you don't have an NFT. So you won't be able to monetize more monthly from the EMR you hold in the staking, because we know that when you have the EMR in the dynamic staking, you will be able, depending on your NFT level, to monetize your EMRS. So if you don't have an NFT, you will be able only to monetize 10% of your calories monthly. And for the moment, we already know that who own an NFT can test our app, and they will benefit from priority access for a few days before our app launch. So our NFT holders can create their own teams before anyone else.
Thank you, Olivio. When is the app going live on App Store?
I think that here is more appropriate for Robert to answer.
Hi all. First of all, I like to start by thanking all for being part of our community. So I'm the guy responsible for the application. If anything goes bad, just drop me a message, okay? So regarding the question, on Android, the app is live right now, but it's in a beta testing phase. Everybody can download it, but in order to create an account in the application right now and you start to use it as a tester, you will first need to own an NFT in order to be granted access in the app. On App Store, the story is it's a little bit different. So the app is both functional on Android and iOS. The code base is the same for both operating systems. The difference is that on iOS we are still trying to get clearance on more on legal side with Apple. So basically they want a little bit more information about how the app is is working. So things about health, because Apple has a very strict policy regarding applications that use the health information, because they want to make sure that developers or companies or whatever that have this kind of applications won't give advice to health advices to their users, and those advices might I don't know be harmful for them. So on as I said before, on Android everybody can download the application right now. On iOS we are still waiting for this legal part to get clear.
Thank you, Robert. What price do you think EMR will reach in this bull run?
I think that I've seen other projects like Sweatcoin or Pi. We all, I think that we heard about them, that don't have a sustainable economy behind them, and really rely on supply and demand. But there's no reason for demand to exist. There's just consumption, as there is in our project, and yet those projects have reached hundreds of millions of users simply because they offer something for free, even if that something is without value. So we here see that people's demand. People want to receive something for free. But imagine what will happen when people that they receive EMRS for free for every calories burned, but especially that EMRS can be instantly converted into real money. This EMRS will have value in your app even from the first second when you download this app. This will be the revolution. I think that from the day one, every people will want to try this app and to bring as many people as they possible could. But you only need one EMR in the dynamic staking to be able to monetize your calories, so your EMRS. So think about when we reach the threshold of 10 millions of users or 100 millions of users, and everyone will want to hold at least one EMR. What will happen then? What is your opinion? Because I think that here is the reason, and the demand and the supply will become increasingly limited due to the continuous burning that will bring with the launch of the app. I think that is very hard for us for the moment to imagine the value of the EMR one EMR can reach.
Thank you. Another question from Brad. Is the 700 million coins the max supply?
Yes, this is a max supply, but it will be released in the market in 6 years from now, I think. And there won't be 700 millions, because the rarity will start when the apps will be launched. So we think that in the next 2 or maximum 3 months, when the app will be launched and our economic model will be live, the rarity will start of our token.
Do you have any plans for marketing? What about checks listing?
I already told about our DEX listing on the biggest DEX in the world. We can attract more users from the Ethereum ecosystem and other chains. And about marketing, I think that Radu can tell you a little bit more.
Yeah, so hello everyone. Basically, we decided to go on a DEX and also to expand and to reach the ERC20 chain because that's one of the largest chains in crypto. It's the main chain of Ethereum. And we are at the moment focusing on that in order to make EMR accessible to more holders and also in order to spread awareness for Emoria Finance. Now, at the moment, we're not focusing on listing on any checks. We're just focusing on the DEX. And as Oliviu mentioned, we are prepared to have a contest. This would be stage 1 of our app launch. We will have a contest between the major football clubs or soccer clubs from Romania, where their galleries will have to join in order for their team to win the contest. And I think the total base of supporters will be close to 200,000. There was a similar campaign that was run not that long ago between those football clubs, and they reached 200,000 users. So we are hoping to get that on the Emoria Finance app as well. And then just imagine if each person invites 10 other friends, and that is just within the borders of Romania. But of course, as Oliviu said, we are planning to make this an international project, and this is just going to be step 1. Then in step 2, we will kind of do similar campaigns for football clubs, and not only, but sporting clubs from outside of Romania. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Radu. We have another question from Hage. He's a bit confused about the referral link. Once the app goes online, the NFT holders receive the link at the same time as partners? This is the first question. Or only the partners and ambassadors receive the link from the team?
The ambassadors and the partners will receive the link in the first. After that, our NFT holders, and after that, we will be able to launch for everybody. So there will be a few days for each ambassadors and partners, and for the NFT holders to grow their teams before everyone else.
Thank you. Are you planning on getting EMR on Binance, KuCoin, etc.?
Yes, of course, but we need to take it step by step, because our main goal right now is EMR on the biggest DEX, and after that to implement our payment processor, and for Web2 users, because this project, it's about all the people. It's not only on Web3. And after that, of course, Binance and the biggest checks will come.
Regarding the application, there are 2 questions. What is happening within the connection on X-Portal from iOS? And when we will appear in the App Store? This question was answered before with the App Store. So what is happening with the connection on X-Portal from iOS?
Okay, so this is something that we discussed a lot on the on both groups, international and the national group. On iOS, we have some limitations due to the fact that the app is not yet on App Store. This issue, the issue with X-Portal is not present on Android, because the app is already on App Store, on the official store, and this is why it works. On iOS, on the other hand, we are not allowed to use a certain feature that is required in order to connect via Xportal. We cannot use that feature while we deploy the application on the test environment, the test flight. So basically, everybody who's in the testing program or know by now that on iOS the app is deployed via another app which is called Test Flight, and that's the official way of Apple handling testing applications in testing phase. To answer the question, basically, we once we will be up on App Store, this issue with Xportal should be solved. Meanwhile, we also discussed this, but more in the with the people on the testing channel. We are also trying a different approach on iOS to see if we can bypass this issue, but we are still trying to figure it out how to make it work, because it's something different and it's not a straightforward solution right now. But we would like to do this before we go live, before we go App Store, because it will offer the chance for everybody who currently owns an iOS device to proper test the application. And this will also be very useful to us, because we can discover potential issues early on.
Another questions from Anto. Will there be another 100% staking or 500%?
No, the only staking that will be here will be the dynamic staking, which will be very good for those who have over 10,000 EMR into the dynamic staking and who hold them over 60 days, because there will be another 3% from each transaction that will goes to them.
How it works for EMRS to exchange to EMR? EMRS is free to get, yet EMR has real value. Please explain.
I think
So
that
I'm gonna.
Yeah, Eddie?
Yeah.
Please.
It's gonna be like a liquidity pool. It's gonna be just EMRS and EMR, and basically, since EMR has a real price, basically depends on how much EMR it's in that liquidity pool. And when people claim their EMRS inside their wallet, basically that liquidity pool, it's getting less EMRS, which means increasing the price because it becomes more rare. So the calculation is more like EMR price times EMR in liquidity pool, then divided by the EMRS in the liquidity pool. And that's how we get the EMRS price. That's it.
Thank you. How is the ecosystem performing from a technical standpoint?
Well, it's a little bit of a broad question. Like from the blockchain side, from the infrastructure side, depends. It's gonna be like a little bit complicated to how do I say it, to balance everything together, because it's going to be a lot of parts involved to make this work. But so far we are getting there step by step. I hope that was the question. If not, you can ask it again and I will expand a little bit more.
Thank you. Someone is asking, what does the biggest DEX means?
We can't say this for the moment, but you will see. The biggest DEX is that DEX that which has the biggest liquidity and the biggest transactions and so on.
What APR will dynamic staking approximately be? Is the amount of dynamic staking equivalent to the certain level of NFT?
So this is the trick with the dynamic stake. It's going to be a dynamic APR depending on how many people leave the ecosystem. The more APR it's going to be for the people that's already staking. So when people are, claiming EMRs, burning calories, and then swapping them back for EMR and then going outside the ecosystem, the fees are going to be applied. And then that's what Olivier said earlier, is going to be 3% for the people that have staked less than 10,000 EMR and less than 60 days. And for the people that have more than 10,000 EMR and for over 60 days, it's going to be another 3% more. So basically, they will receive even bigger rewards as the time goes and you stake more and more.
Burcha is asking, how was the economic model implemented and how is it secured?
Well, what do you mean by secured? Can you expand a little bit on that? Currently, the economic model, it's kind of separating. It kind of works like a layer 3. Basically, it's going to be like the Emoria ecosystem, which kind of works like a layer 3 instead of a layer 2. And everything is going to happen inside our own ecosystem. We are not going to rely necessarily on other projects or so on.
How long the 30% APR staking will be open for?
It's gonna be open until we release the dynamic stake officially on mainnet.
Someone is asking if we are still partnered with Altcoin Daily.
We are not partners, but Altcoin Daily talked about our project because he liked very much. He liked the idea of a hyper-deflationary ecosystem. He thinks that this is the keys to success for every project. We talk a little bit, but I think that I will be an interview with Altcoin Daily, but this will happen only after the launch of our app live for everyone.
Brad is suggesting us to get the CEO of Multiverse6 to follow us on Twitter because it gives more evidence. Multiverse6 is backing us up. What do you think about this, Olivier?
I think that we will need to set a discussion with Multiverse6 team in person because we are from Romania and we can meet together and we can achieve great things together because they create this great technology for everyone to can join very easily, but from Web 2 to Web 3. But we created the reason for everyone to join because anyone will want to hold at least one EMR, as I said earlier, to be able to monetize their calories. So anyone burns calories, and I think that this is the project that will bring global adoption. And of course, after we will launch the app, we meet with Benjamin, and we will talk about some kind of partnerships and solutions to grow each other.
Will there be some partnerships with big influencers in the future?
Yes, of course. But for the moment, we created the infrastructure for anyone to be able to join in our project, and to have the reason to buy the EMR and to join in the Emoria ecosystem, because all the projects need it's based on demand and the supply and the demand. But here you have the reason for the demand. This is the difference between Emoria and other projects. The real utility that we bring to the people's lives.
What other chains is Emoria Finance planned to branch to?
I think that Edward is more appropriate for answer to this question.
Currently, we are only focusing on EVM EVM-based blockchains, and that's gonna be the focus. So it's pretty easy. As long as it's EVM-based, we can simply integrate it to many other blockchains with ease. It's just a matter of having a good bridge, and that's gonna be it.
How EMR is supplied in other chains?
It's gonna be supplied by basically burning EMR from this chain when you go to the other one. So basically, we can release zero supply EMR on Ethereum, and when we want to go from I don't know, we go to Uniswap, for example, that it was mentioned earlier, we can simply move 10 million EMR from this chain to the other one, and 10 million will be burned from here and minted on Ethereum. That's going to be the process.
Alan is asking us if we can let him know the amount of EMR that's going to be vested from December this year.
So currently with vesting, it's 96 millions, and from December, it's going to be like 10% each month. So 10% December, 10% January 2025, and so on until August 2025. So it's just going to be 10% each month, and depending on how many people claim their money or not.
Okay, thank you, Edward. We are preparing to close this EMA. We are waiting for your last questions. Anto is asking, the app release in September? Is the app release in September?
I think that we prepared for listing for our app launch before September. We struggle to be able to launch our app in the next 2 months, but we don't know. We will see.
Thank you, Brad. We will see you on the moon too. So I see there are no other questions from the community. Alan is typing something. We are waiting for him, and then I think we can close the EMA. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, all of you, for cooperating with us, for letting us know what are your questions about the project. And I hope we all answered perfectly for you. So, Olivia, do you want to say something, or we can close the EMA?
I couldn't hold myself, and I want to say something for our community, and we will leave you with this. We think that we can end this infinite circle of swapping the EMR between EMRS and EMR between each other, and commission between each other by developing a new store. We are in plan to creating a new store, a shop where everyone can buy whatever they want, food, energy drinks, clothes, and so on, only with EMR. So we, in the near future, we don't need to sell the EMR. We can only transfer the EMR, and we can the demand higher and the selling pressure very, very lower. So this will create a new economy like we want from the beginning. So we great things will wait for us in the near future, and we are glad to be here from the beginning. I'm glad to have the chance to discuss a little bit about Emoria. Time has flown by so quickly, so thank you for being with us. If you have any remaining questions, please leave it to the chat, and our team, I think that will answer for sure. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night ahead and a nice weekend ahead.
Bye bye. Take care.